I'm going to talk about this new movie that just came out called Wonka. Very deeply metaphysical movie. And the whole concept is about this concept called the pain body. So I'm going to break this movie down to you so that you can kind of understand the subliminals and understand if we did not have this concept of a pain body, how much more fulfilling life would be for humans. So in the movie, you'll notice that when people are eating this chocolate, they'll go through these series of phases. They'll start to cry, get some deep things that is coming up for them. They'll laugh, they'll dance, right? And this is how the main character, Charlie, is able to kind of maneuver through and get his dream, right? Because he would give the workers that was kind of acting for the people on the other side that was trying to prevent him from really getting his chocolate out there, the people who were kind of like corporate people in the movie who wasn't really caring about the chocolate or people, interest in sweets. They just wanted to kind of control. That was just their main thing, is just to control, the money flow and just how where people are circulating their money. And so he was using his chocolate to kind of work through and get what he need through the workers. So there are people who were working in society, of course, like when he was there's aspects of it when he was trying to get into the zoo or when he's trying to get into the vault that has the chocolate and all of the information of the violations of law that these people that were kind of in like a corporate aspect of the business, he was using his chocolate to kind of get through. And so those people, the workers, those frontline workers who kind of monitor that stuff, and even like the police officer, and then the zookeeper, and then it was a woman who just a an average person who just was a worker for getting into this vault. And so what he did was he gave them the chocolate. And so the deeper aspect of the metaphysical part of this movie is that they would go through these phases of like crying, then they're dancing, and then finally getting to doing like an action or a decision that they would not normally do, but their heart deeply desires it. So, so for instance, it was this couple that was there. Well, they weren't couples, but it was one character who was the zookeeper. And when he went through his different phases, when he was finally done and went through his cries and danced and laughed, then he called a woman that he was in love with in high school, and that was on his heart for years. And so he called her to tell her how he felt. And then the irony of that story was that the woman who was controlling the vault was the woman that he was in love with. And so Charlie did the same thing with her, gave her the chocolate so he can get into the vault. And so she went through those phases. She's crying, she's dancing, and then she called that zookeeper up and told him how she felt. So the whole message of the story is that humans have what is called the pain body. This is called the counterfeit persona. So, this is the version of you that's created from your environment, from your past, from your traumas, and the legal fiction that you carry on as your identity. That is your counterfeit persona. Now, what does that mean? That means that is not truly who you are. That is one aspect of it. People may call it the ego, right? For, but when we look at it, it's there's a part of you that is the living, breathing soul human. And that is not that identity. So the moral of the story was that if you go to work, you carry this legal fictitious identity, you see the same people every day, you kind of go and do the same flow of things that you normally do, how you exist in the world, the name that shows up as, the legal fictitious, that all caps legal name, that is your counterfeit persona. That's not the living, breathing soul of who you are. And so the message of the movie is that when you remove that identity, you would become much more joyful and fulfilled in life. And so that was the whole concept. And that's why they were able to express their emotions. Even being on a job, they were able to cry, dance, and then do something like that because they were living more in their heart. So when you're connected to who you actually are according to your natal DNA blueprint, then you're really living in your heart. When you are, you have that barrier that, your pain body, you're really existing in your thoughts, right? And so that was the moral of the story. And so I just wanted to kind of give that breakdown. And then the other symbologies in the movie was his chocolate was so special because he was using milk from a giraffe. So the giraffe that comes from Africa, and the symbology behind that is Africa's children are people of African descent. Black people have the highest melanin content on the planet. So our role is to bring this aspect of high spirituality that connects us to the cosmos, that connects us to the creator, bringing harmony, justice, all of that moves through Black people on the planet. That is the role that Black people play. And Black people's role on planet Earth is to connect humanity to God. That is Black people's role as a race. So our strength is spirituality. That is what the Creator designed us to do. And so that was the deeper message behind that. And then we look at the symbology of the giraffe. Now, the giraffe has a spiritual meaning in terms of its long neck. So it's bridging down high divine wisdom that comes from heaven, which means just the cosmos, the creator, the universe, bringing that down to earth to carry out a divine plan, right? So a divine plan for humanity, divinity. So it's the balance between heaven and earth, and carrying out that and holding your head high in the midst of, going through life with a high calling and high mission that comes from the creator. Okay, so that's the symbology there. And then the other symbology is the mind behind them being able to do this is a little Black girl. And so of course that's very important because she represents the mother of the planet. She is the original female human of the planet. And so that works through her in terms of how she's able to connect that high wisdom down to earth and be able to carry out Charlie, she had the vision and then be able to do it, and then Charlie had the steps to kind of get this plan out. And so one thing is that Charlie was very determined, and he was doing this, of course, because of the relationship that he had with his mother. This was a dream that he had. He started with that. And he said in a movie that he wanted to do this, factory, this chocolate factory, so that he can understand why his mother chocolate was so special, because she would say that it was special, but he didn't really understand her secret. She just said that once you make the factory, then you'll know, why it's so special. She said she'll be there. And so when he finally was able to get the factory up, and of course he did that with his allies. So he had a little Black girl that was kind of like the visionary, and then he did have like other people that was in the like really slavery, and how he was able to get out of it with them. They all helped him because they all seen his vision. So they were his allies because they knew, they believed in him. And so once he finally got the chocolate factory up and running, and they finally won through all their adversity, it took a lot of work. It took a lot of him failing. Once he was able to finally get it through, then he found out the secret to his mother chocolate. And basically what she was saying is that it wasn't the chocolate itself that was special. It was the people that, life is really about the people that you share your life with. So she was basically saying it wasn't the chocolate, it's just that it was the bond that he shared with his mother over the chocolate that created these pleasant memories in his mind and in his heart, that created his drive and gave him his spark. So he was, and so basically she was saying the secret is that life is not about the jobs, the titles, the who cares, what cares, the opinions. Life is about the people that you choose to share your life with, the people that you can truly be yourself around and not wear this mask, because that's going circling back to the original concept of the movie, removing the barrier, removing the mask, these fake identities, pretending to be something that you're not, just to fit in, just to have people to like you, just to care what somebody else think of you. The only thing that does matter is being around people who allows you to be who you are, unapologetically and authentically. And that's pretty much the message that she was saying behind that. You know, life is about people and relationships and connecting. And that is actually what humans were designed to do. We are tribal, right? So it goes against our nature to be individualistic consumers. Okay, so that was the whole message and the breakdown and the symbology of the movie. Let me know what you think.